y'all. Let's talk Insecure. Tonight was the Molly episode. Last week we had the Issa episode. This time we have the Molly episode. Now, many people were not looking forward to this episode, including myself, because not just ready to see Molly all happy and shit on vacation, still unresolved issues with her and Issa. But ladies, I have my friend Rebecca here and my sister Season to talk about this episode. You know the drill. Are we giving this episode a thumbs up or a thumbs down or in the middle? What do you say?
I'm undecided. I'm kind of like in the middle.
I'm like,
oh.
I'm like,
ooh, it wasn't thumbs down-ish, but it was.
No.
It's definitely not thumbs up. I'm in the middle.
No.
Okay, Rebecca, I'll start with you. You're in the middle. What kind of puts you in the not so much thumbs down, but not so much thumbs up column? What do you think was really missing to give you that thumbs up, rating for this one?
Well, I don't know about what was missing, but I'll say what my takeaway was. I think that there is an opportunity for acknowledgement and growth in this episode. So Molly being able to be checked on certain things that, I think she's used to being catered to. So seeing that being in a different atmosphere and different environment may have shone light onto the situation and her behavior. Because of that, it's more of a thumbs up, but everything else is lackluster. So that's where I'm like thumbs down. So therefore I like this meet in the middle kind of thing. So yeah. I'm hopeful to see what comes out of this.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to walk through the different parts of the episode, but Season, just on a high level, what do you think kind of puts you in the middle for this episode?
It felt kind of slow to me. Like you said, we 17 minutes in, ain't nothing really happened. So, I have trouble with the pacing of Insecure's episode. But other than that, pretty much my takeaway was, because they flashed back to Molly saying like this is her first real relationship and da-da-da-da-da. So this episode showed her like, girl, this ain't finna be just about you and your inexperience. You got race in here. You got different cultures. Like you ain't even like scratched the surface of what you're really gonna have to deal with in the relationship. Like, you think it's just about you juggling him and your job. Girl, no. That ain't even the beginning.
That is a really excellent point. So let's start from the beginning of the episode, right? So the end of last episode, we saw Issa struggle with whether or not she was going to go in, and we saw Molly kicking on her phone. But this episode, we saw that probably part of that reason was Molly seeing Issa before Issa saw her and kind of bracing herself and trying to seem like she wasn't really pressed about Issa, or she wasn't like all down in the dumps. But she was pretty pissed when she realized that Issa's just flat out not fucking with her right now. And as she said, she ran away from her like she was a job, which is unfair because Issa stayed at her miserable ass job for a very long time. Don't try to do Issa like that. Rebecca, what do you think about that? Do you think that, given that Molly saw her, does that add a different dynamic to what we saw last week where it was just Issa kind of running away, now that Molly has kind of outwardly gotten rejected from Issa?
Yeah, I was proud of Issa, let me just say that, for walking away and leaving out of the situation rather than catering to Molly and Molly's, again, behavior and her presence. And to me, Molly seemed more shocked than maybe upset. My takeaway is she was kind of surprised because, again, she's not pandering to her and her behavior. So I was very proud of Issa for walking away. And it's a drastic difference than maybe what she would have done in the past. So again, growth. So I was very happy to see that, but I definitely felt like she was more, not upset, but just taken aback by it.
Yeah. It's Season, that was an opportunity for Molly to also reach out to Issa and say, okay, listen, something is seriously wrong here where my best friend and I got into this huge blowout, and she doesn't even want to step into the same building with me. Do you think that she had a duty in that point to try to rectify the situation, or is it better what they both did is just basically like leave each other alone in that instance?
I think they both did the right thing. For me, it does change. Like, first of all, I would never classify what Issa did as running away. I think she made a conscious decision to not put that on her plate right now, to not even deal with that right now. So I don't classify what she did as running away, even though that's, you know, what happened. But yeah, I don't think either. Obviously, you know, from the viewer's standpoint, we think, you know, Molly is the one in the wrong. She may not realize that or understand that yet, but they both did the right thing. If both of them feel like they can't handle it or they not ready, then go ahead on. I mean, they had their little fake friendship for a month. So why not just kind of chill and wait till things really calm the fuck down before you try and approach it? But I do, after today's episode, I do think Molly might be the one to reach out. Oh, we can talk about that later with the prediction.
Yeah. So throughout the episode, right? And on this particular topic of Molly and Issa, I'm gonna go a bit out of order, but we saw Andrew have a really light hand with Molly, you know, like when Molly was like, oh, you know, because she was wrong, he was like, like a real dry, like, I'm just telling you that just to kind of, you know, kind of let your guard down so that you're not so defensive about the situation. Also, you know, the whole exchange that happened in the hotel room when Nathan reached out to Andrew, and the saltiness that, you know, I mean, it wasn't like aggressively salty, but you know, Molly, she's always throwing these digs at Issa and like, oh, she likes her like messy and that tracks, and, you know, basically trashing Nathan to Andrew. And, you know, I thought that Andrew, perhaps with Molly, he needs that light touch in order to even break through even a little bit. But it also seems like he's letting her off a little bit easier. What do you think, Rebecca? Do you think that, like, for the sake of their relationship, Andrew is just trying to play a little bit more neutral, or do you think that he's kind of letting her slide, in particular as it relates to his friend Nathan?
Right. I mean, I think that he's definitely catering to her, and it could be for various reasons, probably because she's a nut job. But I think also he's treading lightly because of the sensitivity of the situation that happened prior episode. But you did see him step up a little bit when it came down to the race and her including him, or not including him in that and saying, oh, you're different, but, you know, kind of taking his brother's side. You did see him kind of step up a little bit more and say, wait a minute. But still not really speaking out. But I definitely think because of the sensitivity of everything that's going on, he is more so taking her feelings into consideration a little bit too much, rather than checking her and letting her know that you're being a little bit obsessive and that's unnecessary, especially here on vacation and still going with this. He should probably cut that and check it and let's stop this now.
Right. Yeah, he definitely told her, like, is Issa on this vacation with us? Okay, so zip it.
Yeah.
But
he needs to do more of that.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. I do think it was interesting, though, how Molly also plays these games, because you cannot tell me that Molly did not know about Nathan's mental health issues, because obviously that would have been something that Issa was agonizing over, and she was agonizing over Nathan even when he came back or whatever. And, you know, Molly had to reveal that she was the one that ran interception on Nathan. You know, she was really, really upset about that. I don't think you watched, I don't know if you saw that season, but Molly knew a lot more about what was going on between Nathan and Issa than she let on to Andrew. And she certainly did not let on to Andrew that she actually sabotaged Issa and Nathan when Andrew brought up the fact that it was really hard for Nathan, his whole thing that he went through with Issa. Season, don't you think that, or I shouldn't say don't you think, because that's a leading question, but what do you think about Molly who always has all the dirt to throw everywhere else, did not want to own up, which is smart to a certain degree, about her role in the demise of Issa and Nathan and keeping them apart.
You know, I didn't watch any of that.
Okay.
So I can't say, but I think it's smart of her to not, I mean, obviously she was like, you can't obviously Nathan and Andrew are friends. So
Right.
you gotta kind of tread lightly when you bashing your homies' friends or whatever, unless you like me, you just kind of go in and be like, sorry. But you know what I'm saying? So I'm not, she definitely, if y'all say she, or if you say she like played dumb, like, ooh, I didn't know he was going through all that, or I shouldn't have cussed his ass out or whatever, then that's that. But what I do think, to kind of just speak on their relationship in general, and I kind of like how you said earlier, Molly is used to being catered to, and she saw Issa kind of stand up for herself and then leave the restaurant. I kind of feel like Andrew is kind of stepping into that role that of Issa. He's stepping into that cater to. I'm not really gonna tell you you're wrong, but I'll kind of steer you in the right direction. And he's gonna be like her. She's gonna be more receptive to him than she would have been to Issa. He definitely caters to her though, and treads lightly. And he honestly, he should as a mate or whatever. But I kind of see like their relationship sounds like what Molly wishes her and Issa's could be. Like, cater to me, I'm always right, whatever. So I like him, I do, but he does not seem like a pushover at all. So that's gonna be interesting, that whole dynamic. Yeah. But she did act like finding out about his mental illnesses was a new revelation, which I didn't know it was.
Yeah, it certainly wouldn't have been a revelation to her, you know, especially the way that she was there for Issa during that time. But let's talk about their relationship. So we saw both of them, it sounds like, from, if you listen to Andrew's or Andy's, sister-in-law and his brother, that this is kind of new territory that he's taking with Molly. And for Molly, this is a new territory that she's taking with Andrew. And by the way, how come Issa is her show and she ain't had a vacation yet? That's some bullshit. That goddamn Molly, with all wrong she's done, is off on vacation with her boo, and Issa can't even go to the Ethiopian restaurant down the street. But that's a whole.
Girl, do you know how many LA bitches I know who have never taken a real vacation? Honey, you know Cali girls think that ain't nothing past Vegas.
That is so true.
People in Cali, they be like, oh, why I need to go, you know. So they are very well into their mid-30s and ain't never caught a flight and got a passport stamp.
Be clear, we're all Cali girls, so
yeah, we all Cali girls, but we
Cali girls. Yeah, but I thought it was interesting that both, and I think that this is the most, aside from a hiccup here or there, this is the most constructive and healthy we've seen Molly in 4 seasons in terms of how she interacts with Andrew, how Andrew interacts with him. They do seem to have a very nice balance in their relationship. And we see Molly kind of entering new territory where she's not the head bitch in charge, because Andrew's brother clearly is somebody that Andrew is a little bit more afraid of than he is of Molly. So again, you have to really light touch with kind of like being like, well, maybe we should do this. But I did think that, to Molly's credit, she was a little bit more compromising than I would have expected. Rebecca, what are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Well, first thing, yes, absolutely. You can tell that there's something there between he and his brother. He's almost submissive to him in the sense of asking Molly, hey, you know, let's kind of meet in this middle. I know he's going to be really intense about this schedule and itinerary. It wasn't yeah, babe, we can do this. We can stay in the room and just do dinner. It was like, let me try and find this common ground. almost like he's equally as intimidated by his brother as he is Molly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Equally appease the both of them, probably because of their personalities, as you saw play out. But I did think that Molly did well. I just knew that she was going to say, I'm not running up this mountain. I knew that she was going to say, I'm not waking up early to do X, Y, Z, and this is what I'm going to be doing. You guys have fun. So I do give her kudos for following through with everything, and putting her big girl draws on and having a different type of experience than normally she would have had. So I give her credit for that.
Yeah, I think she totally deserves credit for that, because truth be told, I don't want to go on no goddamn 3-mile hike on a vacation. I want to be at the summer pool bar, okay? I want to be at the nightclub. I want to be chilling at the cabana. The cabana and the massage sounded perfect. I don't know what they were tripping off of.
I do everything on vacations. I do excursions and I do chill. So I'm like all over the place.
You and Season have that in common. I'm like the lay back and chill kind of gal.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to impress the future in-laws potentially, then you do kind of, if you're smart, you put on your big girl panties, like you said, Rebecca, and you go on ahead and you play along. You get along. Season, what are your thoughts?
I thought she did good. I can kind of relate to Andrew. We have a family that travels, that is very detail oriented, schedule oriented, like let's do this, that. I mean, there's always definitely a good amount of chilling and drinking and relaxing. But when my family travel, we get shit done. So when you bringing someone into that for the first time, it is kind of like you got that nervous energy. I wouldn't necessarily say he's submissive to his brother either. It's just, as siblings, you kind of choose your battles, and they did bring up a sister. I heard that little piece that came in. And she works at a sandwich shop, so I'm pretty sure she is an issue in the family, working at a sandwich shop somewhere. So I did catch that little tea, but I don't think I wouldn't consider him submissive to his older brother, but it's just.
Where his brother is alpha male, and
his brother's alpha male, and he's more laid back, he's more chill. But in the end, it's gonna be a good time. So just feel it out. But yeah, she did a good job. But when you bring race into the issue,
girl,
come on now.
Yeah. Before we get to that, though, I do think though that it's interesting that Andrew's an alpha male and Molly's an alpha female, and so Andrew's brother. I don't recall his name. But Andrew's brother's, Andrew's sister-in-law is more like a people pleaser, get along kind of gal, really, warm and inviting, just like Andrew is, and so it's like. It's interesting. I know, like, I could speak from experience with my husband. Like, when I met my future in-laws for the first time, it's like, okay, I get how you can deal with me because we're like so similar. Our personalities are, and so when you know how to deal with certain kinds of people, then because you grew up with them, then that is a little bit more of a recipe for success. And so I think that Andrew knowing how to deal with his brother has allowed him to know how to deal with Molly. And be more accepting. I find that when your mate is like your family, it's easier for you to deal with them and embrace them. That's my experience. Me and my in-laws have a ton in common. That has basically made now my husband is nothing like my family. He's
true. CJ fit right in, girl.
He fits right in, but he's very, very chill. Very chill. Our family does not have a whole lot of chill.
You mean to tell me your family's not chill?
It's not chill at all.
That is a shocker.
But we are not chill.
Not chill, okay. Let's talk about the race issue, okay? This is bound to rear its head when you have an interracial relationship. It's not going to be all roses. And even though the dynamic between Andrew and Molly, race has never really come up I think it might have come up once in terms of their initial part, but only to Issa. But we saw the incident that happened at the pool. Before we go deep into it, do you ladies agree that the towel thing was racial? Racist is probably a strong word, but we know shit be racial. What do y'all think?
Was it discriminatory? I don't think it was.
You don't?
I didn't see the part where, and I don't know if Molly full-heartedly saw where she didn't ask for the other people's keys because she walked up when they were already being serviced.
Yeah.
For her to be so quick and adamant to say that the woman was racist,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's always fair. I didn't think it was racist personally, but
yeah,
that was based off of all of the information that I had.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, it's been.
Oh shit! Everything is 100% about race with me. You already know how I get down, so we don't even have to. You know, it's us against everybody. If Molly say that she didn't see them have to present a key, then whatever. But for me, she spent quite a bit of time trying to reason with the bitch. Like, I just got out the pool. I'm dripping wet. I'm in a bathing suit. Like, even if just give me a motherfucking towel. So, I felt like she tried to reason with the girl. I do feel like, okay, yeah, she was doing her job, but if she wasn't doing her job across the board and asking everybody for a key, then bitch, you are tripping. So I would not have acted the way Molly acted, but everything is about race for me. I'm always, if you're not black and we have an interaction that don't leave a good taste in my mouth, bitch, you're racist. So don't even beat around the bush. There's
variables that we probably didn't see. So what if they already saw that couple? What if that was their second, you know what I mean? There's so many variables to so quickly jump to race. And that's why I didn't agree with the brother-in-law is, let's play devil's advocate here. She's doing her job, right? That's her job. At the end of the day, it's just as much energy spent to sit here going back and forth with her than to say, let me just go get a key and be done with it. Yes, I'm here. I'm a guest here. Here's my key. Everything doesn't have to be escalated to that level.
Right, I agree. Like I said, I wouldn't have acted that way with the chick at the towel place, and I wouldn't have acted that way with Andrew's brother. But I don't have a problem saying, okay, well, bitch, you're just racist. Let me go get my motherfucking key and be done with it. Okay. Okay, bitch, you see a black bitch up in here. I don't belong. I get it. Let me go get my key. Okay.
Yeah, that's probably how I would handle it as well. I mean, at the end of the day, we pick up on shit like, oh, okay, but they didn't need this, but we need it. But at the end of the day, it is a rule. So if they want to selectively and be racist about enforcement, we like know as black people, we don't get the grace. We don't get the grace.
Right.
We don't get, if we do, then that's a bonus. That's a surprise. Like, oh, okay, you let me slide. Even though I'm black, wow, that's new, that's different.
That's what's up.
But I mean, the expectation should be that, okay, I'm black, motherfuckers ain't gonna give me a break on nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that she overreacted in the sense of like, it could have just been, this is my thing. I don't explain race and racism to people, period. If you black, I might have a little bit of a conversation, but if you not black, I'm already gonna be like, well, what the fuck am I gonna sit up here and explain racism to your motherfucking ass for? Well, you just gonna look at me like I'm crazy, like I'm imagining shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So the way that I would have handled that situation, I was like, you know what? That's fine. We can agree to disagree. That's my fucked off. That's the end of discussion. We can agree to disagree. Okay, I understand why you would say that, but that's not my interpretation, and we could just have different interpretations. That's how we're done. But to get in a full ass argument where you're talking about, you're a person of color when it's convenient, and you're different, and she crossed several lines with
the
all of them. Rebecca, what do you like? I get where she's coming from, because that is a perception that people have. Like, oh, if you're not black, then you just, other people, like, that's why they call it people of color,
What is that? They made that up last year.
To some degree, not everybody, but some people do pick up when they want to be a person of color, or when they want to claim that mantle or whatever. But then when some shit happens to black motherfuckers, they don't see, they bird box. I don't see no racism nowhere, But in that situation, Rebecca, you already don't think that it was necessarily racial, so you probably really think she was way out of line, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was so unfair. It was just as discriminatory towards them as the lady being discriminatory towards her to lump people into these categories without giving a fair assessment or anything, and to say that, hey, you guys probably do this, or you get away with XYZ because you only want to claim people of color. You don't know that person's struggle,
Yeah.
what they advocate for. You haven't even had much of a conversation with them. So for you to unfairly assess and to lump them into this group is equally as wrong as if the lady was being discriminatory towards you and lumping you in that group. So that's how I look at it. It's not fair for us to, cry wolf and be upset when we are now turning around and doing the same thing.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, you're talking about a stranger who didn't give you a fucking towel because you didn't have a towel card, which the rule is to have a towel card, versus you talking to people that you've spent a couple of days with, talking to people that are, related to your boyfriend, people that have been mostly gracious, even though I think as soon as somebody says devil's advocate, no, let's not do the devil's advocate.
Yeah, we ain't gonna do that.
It would have just been shut down. But see, you have to know how to shut down conversations. And she's an intelligent woman. She should know how to shut down conversations and be like, let's not do the devil's advocate thing. I'm upset. I'll get over it, and let's just leave it at that. What do you think, Season?
Well, for starters, let me just say this. My husband's name is Andrew, okay? All of his friends call him Andy. So I was kikiing at that. He is also devil's advocate. His fucking face is next to the picture in the dictionary, okay? And he has all these friends from different backgrounds, and they love the term people of color. They do. And they just, so that particular episode hit so close to home for me because I've been branded as angry, bitter, militant by his own fucking friends. You know what I'm saying? So I really was just kikiing at that whole episode. But overall, I have a very strict, I do not discuss race with non-Black people. So I would have never in my life had that conversation at all. Yeah. Also, I'm not in the way of ruining vacations. So it wouldn't have been all that. But Molly definitely could have just chopped that shit up. But because of who she is, and she can't back down, even if it would be in her best interest to, she took it there, and she let someone take her there. And it's like, I in no way, shape, or form disagree with what she said about people of color. I think that is the most egregious and misused term that has popped up in the last 2 years. Like, what the fuck is people of color? Where were y'all people of color during Black Lives Matter? But that's a whole nother story. But she just chill the fuck out. Go, chill. And non-Black people, they will try and bait you in conversations just so that they can present their side. They don't want to fucking hear what you really have to say. So just chill out, you just chill. Like, that's how I felt about the whole thing. Like, his brother knew what he was doing, because one thing that non-Black people but non-white people like to do is they like to relate to us and make us feel like, well, I've dealt with racism too. Okay. So it's like, just chill, man. The brother knew what the fuck he was doing, but Molly knew what she was doing too. And she just could have been, just change the subject, girl. Just, like you said, well, let me go to the bar. A drink would really help me out right now. Do y'all want something? And that would have been the end of the fucking story for me. Point blank period.
She's a lawyer. She knows how to redirect.
Right. Have some decorum.
So she's emotional.
Yeah, she's very emotional. But what I didn't like, the brother's a fucking asshole. But I didn't like how she made Andrew feel. And I didn't like how she made the sister-in-law feel, because the sister-in-law was trying to beat her with her, like, come on, man, like, chill. But then started
on my nerves a little bit. She was very complimentary and stuff, but she was nice. But
nice, and I think that's a nice thing when you meet somebody. You try to make them feel really warm and welcome. And I think she was really trying to be empathetic to Molly in that moment. And then Molly kind of insults all three of them, which was totally inappropriate. If you want to insult the brother, insult the brother. But I didn't like how she insulted Andrew and the sister-in-law, who were clearly trying to empathize with her. But at the end of the day, they have the night where obviously their night is ruined. But Andrew very graciously comes in the next day with the smoothie, and he's like, hey, we're just going to do our own thing today. Rebecca, what do you think about that?
But kissing her ass. Not addressing that issue. And allowing and aiding in this poor behavior instead of addressing. I don't like elephants in the room. And you have to address the issue. Stop catering and stop kissing her ass.
So you don't think that? It
was sweet.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe it also wasn't a big deal. Like, he knows his brother's a troll. We all know trolls, right? People that will get under your skin.
Yes.
And for them, it's just fun. I mean, his brother said it. We're just having a conversation, and he's all making a joke about it, because there are some people that are just fucking trolls. So maybe it wasn't a big deal to him, and that's why he told Molly, I'm not going to let you fester.
I would buy that if it didn't align up to other ill behavior with calling on the phone, with her talking shit about Issa, with her being upset about Nathan coming to him and him doing her a solid for the sake of their friendship. I would buy into that, but it's a pattern of behavior on her part that needs to be addressed. The brother is a separate thing. If that's what he has a pattern of doing, address that, and I'll address you as well. But this wasn't a one-time thing with her. It is a pattern that he is seeing, and that's he's not speaking on.
Yeah, that's true. It does seem like he's compartmentalizing things, like, well, that's your issue with Issa, that's your issue with Nathan, that's your issue with my brother, and not necessarily your issue with me. But we know that those kind of behaviors obviously show up in how you deal with people, period. And you can't necessarily compartmentalize things. Season, what is your take on that?
Okay, again, I feel like I have been in that exact direct situation. So as much as Molly is on the shit list right now, I 100% relate to her in that particular part of this episode. I think Andrew did the right thing. I think he gave her a cooling off period, which we don't get a lot, y'all. We are held accountable from fucking jump. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I appreciate that he gave her that cooling off period. He also decided it would be best to put some space between her and his brother so they can, end the trip on a good note without making Molly feel awkward. Because even like, I know what it feels like to feel like, damn, I fucked up. My black ass done came in here and tore some shit up, and here we go. But I was right, though. I was right, I know exactly how that feels. So if I separate everything else that's going on with Molly and just look at this particular situation, I think Andrew did the right thing, because, we're not given that much grace. We're not given that much space or understanding. When a Black woman goes the fuck off, we got to issue apologies, and we got to feel like shit for you, So good job, Andrew. Good job.
I 100% agree with you on that point. That wasn't something I had really thought about in that moment, but you're right. Black women never, ever,
we don't get grace. We don't
get grace. Now, Molly also does not extend grace to others either. So I do think that what's interesting about that situation, we talked about that very, very light touch, that light hand that Andrew applies, really kind of led to some introspection with Molly
Mm-hmm.
that perhaps would not have been there if he had been a little bit more heavy-handed with her, and in every situation be like, well, you wrong about this, you wrong about that, you wrong about this, you wrong about that. And so I do appreciate that he gave her grace, because that is important, and we don't get any room to fuck up.
No, we don't.
And we don't get any room to be justified in our feelings, even if our feelings make somebody else feel bad for a moment, or even if our feelings come out in a very aggressive or negative way. We don't get to sit in that space and somebody say, that's fine that you felt that way because somebody was fucking with you, you know, and then maybe they shouldn't have been fucking with you. So I think that that was a very, very good thing. And the thing that I think makes it even better is, like I said, it led to that moment of introspection where finally, after all of these things, without having to get beaten over the head, Molly realizes, I have something that's going on with me. And she calls up her therapist to schedule an appointment. Rebecca, does that seem like a breakthrough to you?
Absolutely. I don't know if it was the argument with Andy or him giving her grace. Not him. What's the brother's name? I don't know which one gave her that retrospective, but she needed it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think it was a breakthrough for sure. So let's see what this next year in therapy does for her.
Next year. Rebecca's already like, she needs extensive therapy for a therapy.
She needs that.
You didn't say next therapy session. She said the next year.
I'm just saying, she's been raging. So she needs
season. It's clear that Molly has work to do. And I think that for me, the reason why I was so like not looking forward to this episode is I'm like, fuck Molly. She doesn't get to be happy. That bitch fucked with Issa. She doesn't have any consequences. And she's been an asshole this whole fucking season. But really that moment, even in the midst of paradise, even in the midst of a man that's been exceedingly gracious to her the whole time, she has that aha moment. I'm not happy. I have work to do with myself. I need to do something about it. I think that was, for me, that was a moment that I needed in order for me to have grace towards her. And I'll see like, okay, whatever happens from this point forward, if she does honestly seek that help that she needs, I will feel a little bit more comfortable about what happens with her and Issa, you know, because I feel like, all right, she might get it that she has an issue. What do you think, Season?
I mean, let me just start by saying I don't want Molly to lose. I want her to do right by people and not, you have to, I think as you get older, you have to really learn who you're taking your shit out on. You gotta be good about, because life don't get easier as you get older. It might plateau or whatever, and you just kind of you just on your daily thing. But I don't want to see Molly lose. Yeah, I'm not happy with how she handled Issa. But I'm not sure exactly when her aha moment was, because she had several things. She had she had Issa turning around. She had she had Andy pulling out all them toys, where she like, oh, I might not know what I bit off here. Then she had the hike that she wasn't really interested in.
She didn't go hiking with Issa though, so I think.
But paid. Oh, yeah, but the hike paid off, and she was like really into that. She had the I guess y'all saying the fake aha moment with Nathan. Then she had the argument in the pool. Then she had I don't know what really clicked for her, but
it was probably all of that, because she said
all of that, right?
So trouble letting things go recently.
I'm excited for her or whatever. I am a staunch advocate of counseling, therapy, psychotherapy, whatever the fuck you need. I was kikiing at her voicemail because I'm like, girl, you don't leave no voicemail on your damn therapist voicemail like that. You just you get to an answering service, but it's okay. But I thought that she ready, and the episode gave us that. So I just good luck out there, Molly. But she need Issa more than she thinks she does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Issa's not the deadbeat low life that's a drag on her happiness that she has portrayed her out to be.
She's not.
Issa has always been a friend to Molly, and they have their banter that sometimes it gets a little bit acerbic, and maybe they're ragging on each other because they have some like underlying issues that they haven't dealt with. But obviously, Issa has been there. This is Molly's first real relationship that's not with a married man. And so, who's been there all this time?
My drink.
The same. Oh, actually,
got dropped.
Second relationship, because she had the other guy, the Enterprise guy. Okay, so that's fine. But that didn't work out. But my whole point is that Issa has been more of a friend to Molly than Molly gives her credit for. So I do think that it's a very positive development. And to your point, Susan, yeah, I think, I didn't want to see Molly win this episode, but I am pro Black woman winning period in life. I just wanted Molly to have to stew on it a little bit more because she totally fucking ruined Issa's event. But all right, so let's wrap this up. So we get to the airport. And Molly, finally, after 2 episodes of Lawrence being gone, we know that Issa and Nathan are hanging out, but it does seem very casual at this point.
It seems casual, yeah.
Very casual. It seems like, to Issa's credit of growth, it seems like she's really just kind of doing her own thing. She's not chasing relationships. She's not chasing approval from men. She's just kind of figuring things out. And like I said, keeping things very light. She had the little TSA bag. And now she's like interacting with, but it seems it's not at all thirsty, which is growth for Issa. But anyway,
mutual, yeah.
So we see Molly run into to Lawrence at the airport, coming from San Francisco. So that kind of explains why he's been gone. I have a theory as to what Lawrence was doing and what he has to tell Issa, but I'm going to keep that to myself for a second. Rebecca, what did you think about that exchange? It was a very awkward exchange that Issa did with Lawrence. All right, what were your thoughts on that?
It was awkward. It was weird. I did think that he called Issa, and it was revealed in the previews that he did. And I think maybe things are aligning for him where he may be moving to San Francisco, taking a job. And that's what he wants to tell her. So the Condola thing is done, and he wants to let Issa know they're in a good place, as you pointed out. And bravo to her for living her best life and not worrying. I think everything is aligning for her as well. So it's a new chapter in his life. He wants to let her know. But that was an awkward exchange at the airport. I didn't understand the handshake hug. I don't know. It's weird. The joke. It was off.
Well, I think Lawrence picks up on Molly's like subliminal hostility towards him. I mean, Molly.
Does she not like him?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think. Like, so I know that back, I want to say like in season 2, they had an exchange, but I can't remember if it was Molly like, you need to forgive Issa, or like Molly being like, you need to stay the fuck away from Issa. I don't recall which one is. I don't know if you recall. But what's clear though is like based on Molly hating from the second floor when Lawrence and Issa were talking at Tiffany's house, that obviously there is some kind of disconnect there. So I don't know exactly what it is, but Lawrence ain't fucking with Molly, point blank, period. Season, what did you think? Do you think Rebecca's theory that maybe Lawrence is moving to San Francisco is possibly where they're going with that?
Well, he works on apps, right? So maybe he's selling apps. Maybe he was meeting with developers. Maybe he might be moving. I don't know. I think he initially wanted to tell her that him and Condola broke up, but he could want to have a conversation with her about moving, about collaborating with something. The possibilities are endless. We have a brother out there in the Bay who works on software and things like that. It's a lot of startups, but the LA scene isn't that bad either. So, I don't know. I did think the episode was really, I did think that scene was really awkward because I'm thinking to myself, like, well, if Molly don't like him, why would she even say something to him? You know, I would have been like, you
Right.
know, so
Yeah.
um,
Because Molly's always in the fucking mix. She's always in Issa's business.
right.
So,
So I don't know, but yeah, it's what Insecure does do is they do drop little hints. Like for me, the divorce chick, Kim Fields, that's a precursor for something for me. So like they drop a little egg, or what is it called? Egg, what is it?
little nuggets.
Easter eggs. That's what they call them in the Marvel thing. So I don't know, but it was awkward, but obviously Lawrence was gonna be, I just ran into your girl. What's up? You know, whatever. So
Yeah, I mean, I realistically speaking, right? In 2020, do you need to move to San Francisco to do like technology? Absolutely the fuck not. Especially in California, like you can do it from wherever. But I do think that
maybe gotta be something big.
He was obviously in San Francisco for some sort of extended time, because that kind of tracks with like the last time he saw Issa, and you know the fact that he was completely MIA for the Black Party and things like that. So maybe he was working on some sort of project. We know that he was having career issues with him being a little bit, you know, feeling a little insecure about where he stands with his company. So there's probably something involved with that. And I think they really kept it super vague. So now we're on the preview side. So they kept it super vague next week. All we saw was one scene preview with Lawrence meeting up with Issa. Issa got her red dress on.
She look cute.
She look cute. She ready.
Look good.
And you know, Issa stay ready. She got Nathan over here. She got Lawrence over here. But she shows up, you know, very unbothered, but also very cute. And we know that Lawrence is gonna drop some kind of bomb on her. At least I hope so. It better not be anti-fucking climatic, right? Because I mean, it made it seem like it was a bomb. Like they could only show us this one preview. So Rebecca, regardless of what you think will happen, what do you want to see happen with this reunion, this mini reunion of sorts with Lawrence and Issa next week?
Tough one, but I mean, just back up a little bit. Remember at the baby shower when they were talking outside in the courtyard, he had something to tell her, and he went to get it out because she took a phone call, and right. So immersed in planning her event that it never came out. I don't know what I want to see. It's so difficult. I like where they're at. You know, I like where they're at. They're friendly towards each other. They're being open with one another. So I just want to continue to see that kind of growth.
Yeah. Season, what are your thoughts?
It's time to get Issa some money. I think Lawrence gonna put her on. He's gonna ask to collaborate. There we go. Look, I'm almost done with this. This is my third one. Anyways, I think that he's working on an app. I think after, dealing with Condola, he's kind of seen another side of Issa that's about her business. I think it's a business venture. I think we finna see Issa get some money. I think they're gonna work together. I think he's gonna see another side of her, and I think that it's going to bud from there. Issa's getting put on right now. This is her season of getting put on. So I think I'm gonna vote for a business venture.
Interesting. I don't know. The call from Lawrence Issa, I've been thinking about you.
Yeah.
That was very boo loving. Can we have drinks?
Oh, wait a minute. Who said they've been thinking? Who is that?
Lawrence said that at the end of the episode when he called somebody. He was like, yeah, I've been thinking about you. Do you need for drinks? That was the tenor. So that's very boo loving to me. And then drinks. I mean, business is going to that little coffee shop or going to get you a little crepe or something like that at 2:00. Not be dressed in a goddamn red dress at the ball. So I'm leaning a little bit more towards the personal. But I'm like, here's the thing. I'm not. I mean, they've been kind of like giving us these primers on Lawrence and Issa, like, the googly eyes and the inside jokes and how much they know each other, and then the Condola thing like flaming out. So they are kind of like trying to get us a little bit like prepared for that potential reunion. But my whole thing is, if you're gonna go there, then just fucking go there. Like, just go balls to the walls.
That's
Don't.
too much like right, Reese.
I know it's too much like right. I know it's too much like right. But like, just pick a side. Pick a side and stick with that fucking side. I don't think that Insecure is capable of doing that.
No.
But I would like to see them figure it out. Is it going to be like closure to Lawrence chapter? Lawrence is moving to San Francisco. He has this great tech job that he's fucking been offered, and this is like his past goodbye and thank you for supporting me when I was fucking a bum and didn't have a job.
A bum, say that. A bum.
You know, if it's going to be that thank you, drinks and move on, then that's fine. Or if it's going to be like, I got my shit together, I sold this app, or I did this, or I did that, and like, I think I'm in a good place now, let's see about us. Then like, let's figure it out in one fucking episode prior to the 27th minute of the fucking episode. And, you know, like 27 minutes of bullshit, and then last 3 minutes is like, bam, this is the whole fucking plot advancing in 3 minutes. You know, that's what I would like to see. So thank you, ladies, for joining me for this conversation. I think next week is going to be very juicy. So I hope
it's going to be cute.
I think it's going to set things off. It's going to set things off. So I hope to see both of you back next week.
And I hope to see Molly back in the country with an apology or something.
Ooh, come on, Molly, come through. She need like 2 or 3 counseling sessions before she.
Well, Rebecca said a year, so that's season 6.
Cause you know, Molly gonna want to make shit right with Andrew first. Then it's gonna spill over to Issa. We all know bitches like that.
I think she's in a good place with Andrew. I think Issa's the next on the list.
Yeah.
But what remains to be seen is if Issa's gonna be fucking with Molly. But I think Issa is just waiting on Molly to reach out to her first. I don't think that Issa has this. I think Issa, in her mind, even though I don't think Issa was wrong, I do think that Issa feels like, okay, maybe I was wrong, but she was more wrong, so she needs to reach out to me. So I think that if Molly decides to own her shit, then that could be a good thing. But the wrinkle is whatever happens with Lawrence, because I think that Issa will not want to hear Molly's judgment on Nathan or on Lawrence. So I think whatever kind of reconciliation that they might potentially have is going to be super surface level until Issa figures out which way she's going to go.
Okay, we gonna see.
We will see.
We are going to see. We're not writers. We're just commentators. So, ladies, thanks again. And for those of you watching, tune in next week. We will be talking about the Lawrence Issa episode. Cheers.
Cheers. I don't have my drink.
I'll drink for you.
Thank you.